Hi guys, how are you? It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Ooh, I got a dog bone back in there. There's dogs in the house. Haha. Anyways, so last night was the reunion for Teen Mom 2, and instead of doing a full recap, I've just been deciding to kind of pick the stories that I want to talk about because some of the people I just am not that interested in. And I figured we should talk about what happened with Kail because this Kail story has been going on social media between her and Chris Lopez. And we actually shared the story in October when it happened about a woman that text messaged Chris Lopez and said that, or text messaged Kail, said that she got Kail's phone number from Chris's phone and that she was pregnant with Chris's baby. Kail posted that on Instagram, and then that sort of created this mass series of posts from Kail about how she was moving on and she dyed her hair and she she knew her worth and she was going to go to therapy and all of this stuff. Like, she and Chris were done, she was done. He was on Instagram being like, I didn't do it, I don't know who that person is, that didn't happen. And all of us were sort of left like, did it? Did it not? What's up? She and Chris have been on and off and on and off and on and off. She has been chasing him relentlessly. He is, or so it would seem. He seems non-committal. He has not wanted to be filmed on the show, and she has struggled now because she has 3 babies with 3 dads who don't want to be on MTV. So in the last season, we had Joe and Javi. They are gone now. Neither one of them want to be on the show anymore. Kail admitted that on the reunion that Javi decided to get off the show because he always seemed to get in trouble when he was on the show. And then when they asked Kail about, well, what about what's going on with him now? And she goes, well, he gets in trouble even when he's not on the show. There was a lot of back and forth about, is she interested in Javi? Does she still have feelings for him? What's going on with him? What happened between him and Lauren? They didn't say Lauren's name. They didn't even discuss the, allegation that he cheated on her, which was everywhere on Instagram as well. It seems as though on these reunions, they don't want to talk about anything that's not actually covered on the show, or they just don't want to talk about things, period. But it was everywhere. Like, literally, he admitted to cheating on her. Lauren and him got back together. They're back together now. I guess they're trying to work on it. But either way, she says that the ship has sailed. She doesn't miss the ship. She's done with Javi. Then when they were moving on to Chris, she says that, oh, and then the one thing about Joe before we get to Chris is, with Joe, she said that she wasn't going to give her child, she wasn't going to waste an experience of her child going to the Hawaii for a month because his father wanted to see him for 8 hours, and she was going to give her child what he wanted. And my only thought was, okay, I get it. It was only 8 hours out of 1 month, and maybe Joe was being petty, but I didn't realize that we just give kids what they want because that's what they want. Like, there's still legal contracts, but that's just me. She admitted that Joe never took her to court, that everything is fine now. He never reported it. He said that he was being petty. Anyways, so now we are on to, who are we on to? Oh, Chris. So now we're on to Chris. So during her thing about Chris, she says that she and Chris have 0 co-parenting relationship. Okay. She said that Chris is working on himself and maybe going to therapy. She's not sure. She said she's going to therapy. She's not really clear about what's going on with Chris, where he is, what he's doing. She said that their relationship is 0, and it seems to imply that he is not seeing Lux. Sad. Now, Chris has been in and out of this relationship and in and out of Lux's life. She has talked a lot about when she was even little, when Lux was a baby still. She talks about how Chris wasn't there for her during her pregnancy, how she and him he didn't really have a relationship with Lux as a baby. It appeared as though in the last year, maybe a little bit longer, Chris was trying to step up into the relationship with him. He has attended birthday parties. He has posted some photos of Lux on his Instagram, but maybe he's one of those Instagram dads that just like shows up when it's convenient for him. He refuses to be filmed. There was one incident that was blown way out of proportion on this year's season where Chris was going to come to the birthday party and he was going to spit on someone if they even pointed the camera in his area. On Instagram, people kept trying to ask Chris why he wasn't filmed. It seemed as though Chris alluded on several Instagram lives that one of the reasons why he was not filmed was because he was not offered enough money. Maybe he just doesn't want to be on the show. Maybe he wanted more money. That's what he said during an Instagram live. I'm sorry, I don't have it right now, but that was his allegation. So here we are today. Then they say, well, what's going on with Chris? And she goes, well, I got his text message from this woman, and she says that she's pregnant with Chris's baby. And I asked Chris, and Chris says she's not pregnant, and he doesn't know anything about it. And they're like, well, do you think the woman is pregnant? And she's like, well, I can only go off of what Chris says, and Chris says no. I mean, I don't think he would get anyone pregnant. Really? Really? Really, Kail? Because she got pregnant, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, I mean, as much as Lux, you guys, is a beautiful, beautiful baby, but I don't know if Lux was actually planned. So don't a lot of these pregnancies sort of happen by accident? So theoretically, could it be an accident? I don't know. Anyways, it didn't stop her from saying that he might not have sex with other women, but she was sure that he wasn't pregnant, and she didn't think there was much to do about anything. The whole entire interview with Kail was really blah. It was clear she didn't want to answer any questions. She was being evasive. She didn't want to talk about anything. She didn't want to talk about Javi. She didn't want to talk about Joe. She didn't want to talk about Chris. And she's going on and on about all this different stuff, right? So we're led to believe that, and then she's like, you could tell that she maybe wanted a little bit more screen time, because then they're like, Nessa's like, well, Kail will be back in the next episode, or part 2, where she'll talk about her reaction to when Jade came onto the show. And Kail's face was kind of like this. Like, she didn't really want to do it. Or, why are you bringing me on to talk about Jade? Well, we already know that in the next episode, or part 2, this is where this whole thing is going to blow up, and this whole big fight on Teen Mom 2's reunion between Ashley and all the girls, and you know, where Ashley's going, meet me outside, meet me outside, meet me outside, that thing. Anyways, then that's it, right? So then we get to this morning. So on Twitter, Kail Lowry, she insists that nothing happened with Chris, that he definitely did not get anyone pregnant, okay? So here is what she says. He definitely didn't get anyone pregnant. People have just too much time on their hands. And when someone says, wow, I guess he's having a baby. Well, then she shared this, which is apparently from the woman which texted her back in October, on October 22nd, which said, Kail, girl, I know this is you. I got your phone number out of Chris's phone. Tell the man to stop playing with me and to hit me up about the baby he has on the way. Now, the interesting thing here is that Kail put the full text message out on her Twitter, and she did not block out that phone number. That blocked out phone number is me. That current message, that current tweet is sitting out there right now, and she did not remove the phone number, which had me like gasping. Anyways, then we says, you can say something about my text on TV, but you can't hit me back about our baby daddy. So funny. Don't worry, girl. I got a hold of him, and I'll be sure to send pictures come February so Lux can see his brother Joshua. Now, in fairness, it's hard to know whether or not this is true. I mean, Kail has her phone number kind of out there. I know from people that I've spoken to that she has active conversations with fans, and her phone number is not hard for many people to retrieve. So this could theoretically be someone that's effing with her. But at the same time, I do find it weird that she would post that out there. She would not black the phone number out. She has 1.4 million people that are on her Twitter account. And this woman is either playing with her, is being a troll, or Chris has someone pregnant. And, you know, at this point, we probably aren't going to know. And that's a very good point. Why, Tammy J says, why is she messaging Kail though? Exactly. Why would you be messaging Kail? Why wouldn't you just be messaging Chris and talking with him if you had his phone? Or were you just trying to start drama? I just don't even understand this. And then someone says, Kail, or then you say, Chris Orange says, Kail is a petty Betty. Did you really expect her not to post the number though? I don't know. I thought I was, you know, Kail's been saying she's working on herself. She's getting better. She's taking care of things. I would think that she would be a little bit more careful about that. I do know that mistakes happen. But this was posted more than 5 hours ago when I grabbed the screenshot, meaning it's been out there this morning. And I don't know who this person is. And it clearly, Kail never responded to this person. All right. So Chris is basically MIA on Instagram. He took a massive break during all of this going on. He had been live streaming quite a bit. He had been posting photos a lot. He has since completely stripped his Instagram. There are only 2 photos on there now, and he hasn't really been on or active. He did mention that she said, he did mention a while back that he would be stepping away from Instagram. All right, so thank you so much, Nocturnal, for that super chat. And this is where we're at, you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think the girl is pregnant? Do you not think she's pregnant? Did you think that this whole thing with Kail and the reunion was super boring? Am I the only one that is starting to wonder if this show will even be back on the air? Teen Mom is now looking for new blood. Yes. They are on the recruiting end. They are recruiting girls from ages 15 to 18. They are actively seeking new cast members for the show. Does this mean that they'll be starting a new 16 and Pregnant? Does this mean that they're going to be replacing some of these mothers on Teen Mom? The ratings are in the tank. It seems as though maybe the show needs an overhaul. It either needs to be canceled or maybe new blood needs to be brought on. Other franchises like The Housewives, they seem to do it a little bit more strategically, where they pull cast members out that don't get very good ratings. As you know, many people have recycled through the years on the various franchises, from the OC to New Jersey to Atlanta, Dallas, all of them. They've all had tons of Beverly Hills. Could they do something similar where they pull people out, like say Kail or maybe Jade or who knows, and then add new people in there? Which is comparable to kind of what Unexpected does, where they bring a few of the girls back and then they bring in new people. I think that might be more interesting to people than watching the same people over and over and over and over. All right, you guys, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will be back later with Welcome to Plathville, episode 5. Bye, guys.